Good morning. Today we're going to learn how to do a circular pattern in OnShape. The circular pattern button looks like this. As a drop-down, you can see it gives you the choice for a linear pattern, a circular pattern, or a curve pattern. And it creates multiple instances of parts, faces, or features. So this right here, this green thing is an example of a linear pattern. And this silver thing is an example of a circular pattern. You can see that as you pattern something, this allows me to create, for example, on this green thing, just one hole, and then press the pattern button to create multiple equally spaced holes throughout the whole part without me having to draw them all. The same is true with this silver circle thing. I can draw one hole and then press the circular pattern button and then get a pattern of circles all throughout my shape without having to draw them on. It's super convenient. So today we're going to learn how to make this part right here. We're going to be drawing this shape and using the circular pattern to make the holes. So let's get started. I'm going to start by drawing this circular base right here. So it looks like this circular base, as I scooch my picture over, has a diameter of 100 and a thickness of 15. So over here, I'm going to create a new part. And I'm going to draw on the top plane so I can view it from the top. A disc with a diameter of 100. Oops, 100. I'm going to roll my mouse out so I can see it. And I'm going to extrude it to a height of 15. Perfect. My next step is going to be to make that post on top. As you look at this post, you can see that it's a circle with a diameter of 50 and a height of 100. And if you look, you can see the height of 100 is measured from the bottom of the previous disc to the top of this new cylinder. So as I draw it, I want to draw it from the bottom of the previous disc so that when I extrude it upwards a height of 100, I can make sure that it's the right size. So as I go back here, I want to make sure that I'm drawing this new cylinder from the bottom. So I'm going to tilt it so I can see the bottom view. And I'm going to draw a sketch down here on the bottom of a circle with a diameter of 50. And as I click extrude, I want to extrude it upwards a height of 100. You can see that immediately it gives me an error. Boolean resulted in no geometry change. That's because so far it's only extruded a depth of 1. And it's giving me the error saying like, hey, you can extrude this, but like you won't see anything because it's not tall enough. That's what it's saying. The parts are either do not intersect or are totally contained. So this extrusion right now is totally contained within the first one. I'm going to have to type in a height of 100 for it to get rid of that error, because now you can see that it is no longer totally contained within the first disc. My next step is going to be to draw that shape on the top. You can see that the shape on the top is drawn from the top surface right here downwards, a height of 15. And you can see that it's made from 2 circles with lines connecting them. We're going to use the tangent constraint to create a smooth transition between the circle and the line. And I'll show you what that looks like. We're going to start by drawing these 2 circular shapes and then the lines that connect them. Let's go. So I'm going to create a sketch on the top, and I'm going to view it from the top so I can see it better. And I want to draw 2 circles right here at this point. But you can see that as I move my mouse, it's not highlighting this circle or allowing me to draw right here. That's because as I'm trying to draw, the reference for this circle is really far away. You can see that it just doesn't recognize where that might be. So this is the perfect instance for the Use button. As I click the Use button, it will project, see how it's projecting that previously drawn circle up onto my sketch plane for me, so that when I draw a new circle, I can make it line up with this spot vertically upwards. So as I draw, you can see now it'll let me grab this point. And if you view it from an angle, you can see that right here, it's lined up vertically above. My second line is going to be right here. Or circle, my second circle will be right here. Perfect. So the next thing I want to do is add some lines to connect it. And when I draw these lines, I don't want to draw it so that it's like at this intersection point. I want to draw it like in a random spot here and connect it to a random spot here. And the reason why is because by doing so, it'll allow this tangent button to work so much better. So you might remember that we learned last week about geometric constraints. A geometric constraint will allow you to constrain a geometry in a certain way. And these are your geometric constraints up here on the top left. So this is one of my favorites. This is the tangent button. You can see it's a line and a circle. So in geometry, a tangent line is a line that intersects a circle in only one place. And using this button in CAD will allow us to draw a really smooth shape. So I'm going to click this tangent button, and I'm going to click the circle and the line, and you can see that it has moved and adjusted the line so that it's tangent to the circle at only one spot, which is going to create like a beautiful smooth surface. So I'm going to do that for all of these here. Then I'm going to do the same with this other circle. So you can see I've created this beautiful shape here. You can see that it has a radius of 25 at each of these arcs because it already has a radius of 25 with this existing circle. You don't need to fillet it if you do it this way. And now we have two equally spaced circles. If I were to use trim, I could turn this into looking exactly like the shape in the picture. But I don't need to use trim. I can just click what I want to extrude. So I'm going to click these individual parts right here. And I want to extrude downwards a height of 15. So I'm going to change the direction of the extrusion so that it's extruding like down this way. A height of 15. Perfect. It looks as though I did not actually do that perfectly. I forgot to click. See how I forgot to click this little spot? There you go. Now you can see it's a nice smooth. Perfect. Ooh, that's way better. Okay. All right, so our last step is to draw the holes and then the circular pattern. So our first hole, I'm going to do the holes on top right here. So you can see that there is a hole right here in the center that goes all the way through, and then two other holes on either side. So let's draw the hole that goes all the way through. It has a, what is that? A diameter of 30. So I'm going to draw a sketch on this top surface. I'm going to draw a point. I want the point to be right here. And I'm going to add two other points for later. One at this spot and one at this spot. So I want my first hole to go through the center and have a diameter of 30. You can see it's going through the entire part. There you go. Now I have a hole. So the next two holes, I don't want to go through the entire part. And you can see that the points I was using to make them disappeared. I can make them reappear by making this sketch visible right here. And you can see I can see my points again. So I'm going to click hole, and I'm going to grab these two right here. The size of that hole is 10. And I don't want it to go all the way through. You'll notice that it doesn't go through to the other side in the picture. I want it to go only down into this object here, and I want it to go a distance of 15, because that's the thickness of this part. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Maybe a hole is not the best way to make this. Maybe I will, oh, no, here it is, 15. There you go. So hopefully that goes through. There we go. There, you can see that this is the width of the hole and this is the depth of the hole. Perfect. So now it's not going through the other side. Our last step is to make this pattern of circles right here. So you can see that it looks like there are 6 of these holes. I'm going to start by drawing the hole right here at this spot that's currently invisible on the drawing, but is like right underneath. That way I can draw it straight over from my center point and make sure that it's in the right place. You can draw this one if you want, but you'd have to make sure it's placed at a 45-degree angle. So I'm going to draw on this surface. And I'm going to draw it. I'm going to click on like this view so I can see it a little more clearly. Okay. I want my circle to be lined up. Here's the center point. I want it to be lined up in a line right here. And it says that the width of this hole is 12 and that it's a distance from the center of 70. So I'm going to make sure that it has a size 12. And the distance from the center, let's find the center. Come on, center. Or I guess instead of doing from the center of 70, I guess I could do it from the edge 30. That might be easier. No, that can't be right. $15. There we go. So here's my shape. I can extrude this shape downwards to remove it, or I could create a hole. And now's the cool part where I add the circular pattern. This is the circular pattern button right here. You have to select the part, select the axis, the angle between them, and the number of instances. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose what I want to pattern, which is this extrusion right here. Extrude 4. That's not what I want. Maybe I'll do that in the sketch instead. That might be more helpful. Circular pattern. I'm going to click the part or the circle right here, and you can see it's creating a pattern all the way around. You can see it tells me there's 3 of them. So I'm going to tell it that I want 6 of them. And it's going to equally space these 6 circles. So now when I extrude, I just have to make sure that I click all 6 circles. Perfect. So there is my circularly patterned part. Good work, guys. Make sure that you turn in a screenshot of your assignment.